I still remember the moment the human girl raised her hand. It happened inside Training Hall 7 of the Orion War Academy. The room itself was built for intimidation. Walls of dark alloy, massive observation windows looking into the vacuum of space. Rows of cadets from 20 different species sitting in silence while Instructor Varkon enjoyed his favorite activity, humiliating students. I am Terrell, a cadet of the Vexery Union. And at that time, I believed Instructor Varkon was the most dangerous being in the academy. Everyone believed that. He stood nearly 3 meters tall, 6 eyes, gray armored skin. His voice could rattle bones when he shouted. And shout he did. The training simulation had just ended. Every cadet in the room had failed. Not one survived the combat scenario. The lights brightened slowly as the simulation pods opened with soft hissing sounds. Cadets stumbled out, exhausted, embarrassed, angry. Instructor Varkon began laughing. Not a small laugh. A full booming roar that echoed through the hall. Pathetic, he barked. Every single one of you failed. Not a single survivor in 20 combat minutes. Congratulations. You're the worst group this academy has ever produced. No one answered. No one ever answered. Except that day, someone did. A small voice spoke from the second row. Excuse me, Instructor? Every head turned. The human girl. Her name was Mira Hale. Humans were new to the Galactic Defense Coalition. Most species still thought of them as fragile, loud, unpredictable creatures that broke things and then apologized afterward. Mira Hale did not look dangerous. She looked bored. She raised her hand again. Instructor Varkon slowly turned toward her. Yes, human, he growled. Mira tilted her head. Why did everyone fail? Silence fell across the hall. Not the normal quiet kind. The dangerous kind. You must understand something. Questioning instructors at Orion Academy was not encouraged. Instructor Varkon's 6 eyes narrowed. Why did they fail? He repeated. Mira nodded. Yes. She gestured toward the simulation chamber. I mean, the defense grid had 3 blind spots. The enemy drones repeated the same attack pattern every 40 seconds. And the command AI lagged for 2 seconds whenever someone tried manual override. The room was still. Even the ventilation system seemed to pause. Varkon leaned forward slowly. You believe you understand the simulation better than the Academy engineers? Mira shrugged. Not better. Just noticed a few things. A few cadets snorted quietly. Instructor Varkon began laughing again. Oh, this was not normal laughter. This was the laughter of someone who had just found entertainment. Very well, human. He tapped the console beside him. The main screen lit up with combat footage from the simulation. You say you noticed weaknesses? Mira nodded. Yes. Then perhaps you would like to demonstrate your brilliance. More laughter from the alien cadets. I felt it too. That familiar feeling when someone was about to be crushed. Varkon pointed at an empty simulation pod. Enter the chamber. Mira blinked. Just me? Yes. The instructor's voice turned sharp. Let us see how a single human handles a battlefield that defeated 20 cadets. The hall filled with whispers. This was not a test. This was punishment. Mira walked toward the pod calmly. Too calmly. She paused at the entrance. Instructor? Varkon folded his arms. Yes. She asked one more question. Do I have to follow Academy tactics? The entire room froze again. Varkon's eyes gleamed. You may attempt whatever foolish method you wish. Mira smiled. Okay. The pod sealed shut. Lights dimmed again. Simulation starting in 5, 4, 3. The battlefield appeared on the giant screen. A ruined colony city. Enemy drones poured in from the sky. The same scenario we had all failed. 20 cadets before her had tried standard defensive formations. Every one of them died. The timer began. 20 minutes. Mira moved instantly. Not cautiously. Not carefully. She ran directly toward the center of the city. Several cadets began laughing. Even I shook my head. Human tactics? I thought. Then something strange happened. Mira ignored the weapons crates. Ignored the defensive turrets. Ignored the command terminal. Instead, she climbed a broken communications tower. Instructor Varkon frowned. What is she doing? Mira reached the top of the tower. Then she waited. Drones approached. 40 seconds. Just like she said, the first attack wave. They fired. Mira jumped off the tower. The drones fired where she had been standing. The tower collapsed onto the street below, directly onto the drone formation. For destroyed instantly. The room went silent. Mira landed hard, rolled, grabbed a fallen drone rifle. Then she started moving again, not randomly, purposefully. She ran straight into the first blind spot of the defense grid. The drones hesitated. Their targeting sensors flickered. Instructor Varkon leaned forward. Impossible. Mira spoke calmly through the simulation comms. They can't see here. She waited exactly 40 seconds. Second attack wave. This time she was ready. Drone after drone fell from the sky. Precise shots. No wasted motion. No academy formations. Just brutal efficiency. The timer continued. 15 minutes remaining. 10 drones down. Then 20. Then 30. Cadets slowly leaned forward in their seats. Instructor Varkin's expression changed. Not anger. Concern. Because Mira was not just surviving. She was dismantling the simulation. One weakness at a time. And she was smiling while doing it. Finally, the last drone exploded against a collapsed wall. The timer stopped. Victory. The simulation chamber opened. Mira stepped out. Her uniform slightly dirty, but her expression relaxed. She looked at the stunned cadets. Then at Instructor Varkon. She asked politely, "So, is the class still failing?" No one laughed. Varkon stared at her with burning eyes. "You manipulated the system." Mira shrugged. "You said any method." The instructor stepped closer. "Humans are not trained for coalition combat tactics." Mira nodded. "Correct. Then how did you learn this?" She answered casually. "War games. With my brothers." The room stayed silent. Then Varkon smiled slowly. But it was not a friendly smile. "Very well, human cadet. If you enjoy games, tomorrow we will try something harder." He turned to the class. Live combat evaluation. Against a real instructor. His 6 eyes locked onto Mira. "Me." Mira blinked once. Then she sighed softly. "Oh, that's unfortunate." Because the way she said it, it sounded less like fear and more like pity. And for the first time in my life, I saw Instructor Varkon look uncertain. The next day, Training Hall 7 was full. Not just with cadets. Instructors filled the observation balcony. Officers from several fleets watched through the glass walls. Even the Academy command staff had arrived. Live combat evaluations were rare. Instructor versus cadet? Almost unheard of. And yet here we were. The arena floor had been cleared. Steel plates stretched across the chamber. Weapon racks lined the walls. Energy barriers hummed quietly around the combat zone. I sat in the front row beside a tall insectoid cadet named Rix. He whispered nervously, "Your human friend is about to become paste." I shrugged slowly. Yesterday, I might have agreed. Today, I was not so sure. The arena doors opened. Instructor Varkon stepped inside first. 3 meters tall, armored skin gleaming beneath the overhead lights. Heavy combat armor locked around his shoulders. A plasma spear rested in one hand. He looked like a walking war machine. Then the second door opened. Mira Hale walked in. No armor, just the standard Academy uniform, and a small combat knife. The room erupted with quiet laughter. Rix leaned closer. "This will last 10 seconds. Mira stopped in the center of the arena and looked around. That same calm expression, like she had arrived early for a meeting. Instructor Varkin's voice echoed through the chamber. "Human cadet Mira Hale, you challenged the credibility of Academy training." Mira tilted her head. I asked a question. He ignored that. "Today you will demonstrate whether humans possess actual combat skill or simple luck." Mira nodded. "Okay." The instructor raised the plasma spear. Energy crackled along its edge. "Combat begins now." Varkon attacked immediately. The floor shook with each step. He swung the spear downward with enough force to split metal. Mira jumped sideways. The spear slammed into the arena floor, sparks flying everywhere. Cadets gasped. Varkon pulled the weapon free and swung again. Mira ducked under the strike, rolled, and sprinted away. The giant alien laughed loudly. "Running already?" Mira called back while moving. You're very big. Yes. And big things move slow. Another swing. Another dodge. Mira kept moving across the arena, forcing Varkan to turn again and again. Several instructors in the balcony frowned. One muttered, "She's buying time." But for what? I began noticing something strange. Mira was not just running. She was touching things. A weapon rack. A loose cable. A maintenance panel. Small movements. Quick. Easy to miss. Varkan noticed nothing. He charged again. This time he cornered her near the west wall. Nowhere to run. Human. He thrust the spear forward. Mira slid beneath the strike and kicked a metal lever beside the wall. A loud clang echoed through the arena. Several overhead cargo lights swung loose. Varkan paused. What was that? Mira pointed upward. Gravity maintenance. The lights dropped. 3 heavy metal frames crashed onto Varkan's back. The instructor staggered slightly. The crowd gasped, but the armor held. Varkan shoved the wreckage aside. You think debris will stop me? Mira wiped dust from her sleeve. Not really. Then she ran again, this time toward the weapon racks. Varkan chased her. The crowd watched as she grabbed a plasma rifle. But she did not fire it. Instead, she threw it across the arena. The weapon smashed into a control console. Energy sparks erupted. Emergency alarms began screaming. Arena systems flickered. Varkan slowed. What are you doing? Mira pointed toward the ceiling. Creating options. Suddenly, the arena lights dimmed. Backup power engaged. The instructor's targeting visor flickered. Just for 1 second. But that was enough. Mira moved. Fast. She sprinted behind Varkan, climbed onto a broken light frame, and launched herself onto his back. Gasps filled the chamber. The giant alien roared and tried to grab her. Too late. Her knife flashed once. Then twice. Not deep. Not fatal. Precise cuts across the cables of his armor harness. The heavy shoulder plates unlocked instantly. 300 kilograms of armor crashed to the floor. Varkan stumbled forward. The crowd stood up. Mira jumped off his back and backed away slowly. The instructor turned, breathing hard. You damaged Academy equipment. Mira shrugged. You said any method. He charged again. Angrier this time, but slower. The missing armor changed everything. Mira stepped aside and kicked a loose cable she had pulled earlier. The wire wrapped around Varkan's leg. He tripped. The massive body crashed onto the arena floor with a thunderous boom. Silence followed. Absolute silence. Mira walked forward calmly and placed the small combat knife against the instructor's throat. The energy barriers flickered. Combat complete. No one moved. No one spoke. Finally, Mira sighed softly. You know, I really did just want to know why everyone failed. Varkan stared at her. Rage, embarrassment, disbelief. Humans fight dirty. Mira smiled. No, humans fight smart. She removed the knife and stepped back. Medical drones rushed into the arena. The observation balcony exploded with arguments. Instructors shouting. Officers whispering. Rix leaned toward me slowly. Did the human just defeat an academy instructor? I nodded. Yes. And the strange thing was, Mira looked disappointed. She rubbed the back of her neck. Next time, maybe pick someone faster. The arena remained silent for another 10 seconds. Then, someone started laughing. One cadet, then another. Soon the entire hall erupted. Not mocking laughter, respect, and maybe a little fear. Because that day, every species in Orion Academy learned something important. If a human asks a question, it might be safer to answer it before they demonstrate the solution themselves. And that was the day the entire Orion War Academy learned a lesson they would never forget. Never laugh when a human asks a simple question, because sometimes that question is the beginning of your defeat. If you enjoyed this HFY sci-fi story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more incredible human stories from across the galaxy. Until next time, remember, in a universe full of aliens, never underestimate a human.